And we're back. If you can see us through the shadow band, we are here. We are transmitting from our underground bunker deep behind enemy lines. Not in my grandmother's basement. Speaking of grandmother's basement, that's what we're going to be talking about today. All right, y'all. I'm going to jump right into the article. Now, for any of you jumping on early, or any of you watching this in the replay, we're going to immediately migrate here. And within 10 minutes, we're going to be doing a Rumble exclusive live stream touching on topics.
In 10 minutes?
No, I'm talking about anybody with the replay.
Sorry.
Senior producer. Okay. Schwackhammer. So anybody watching the replay, we're jumping right off of this live stream onto Rumble, where you can talk about subjects that you can't talk about on the curated CIA platform. All right, so let's get into the article. So, hey, take the time now. If you're on the live stream, make a Rumble account because we will be live on Rumble immediately following this broadcast. I'm going to pull up our article. All right, so let's get right into the article. This is on Zero Hedge. The title of the article is Inflation and Economic Woes Lead to 54% of Gen Z Americans to live with their parents. Exciting. This is great economic news. I think this was originally on the Epoch Times or whatever. Yep. Yeah. Brian Fung. Generation Z, the youngest generation of American adults, are struggling in an era of high inflation and expensive housing. With more, and Brandon said, I did that, with more than half of them living with their parents in an uncertain economic environment. That's very exciting. I think it's going to all work out great. It's going to be good.
It's going to be terrific.
Exciting times are ahead. At least 54% of adults aged 18 to 25 are opting. They're opting to live with their parents out of economic success necessity. According to a new study of over 300 participants conducted by the Harris Poll and commissioned by Daily Pay, the Gen Zers now in adulthood and who are seeking to become independent from their families are starting to have trouble remaining financially afloat as the cost of everyday items goes up. And this has been a trend in the previous generation, and this is a byproduct and product, one, of our fascist, communist, so-called American government, and also a byproduct of the government schooling system and the government higher institutes of government propaganda.
Yeah.
Out of all the respondents polled, 80% of Gen Z say they expect the U.S. economy to remain the same or decline through the next year. Well, they're wizards as well. That's a very easy prediction. This youngest American age cohort started to enter the workforce in the midst of a pandemic and increasing political instability at home and abroad. They also happen to be the most technologically savvy generation when it comes to social media, unlike the previous millennial generation, which came of age during the War on Terror. Oh, so wait a minute. There was a war on terror. Now there's another war. It's weird how there's always a war. And it's weird how America is always part of the war. And Great Recession. American Gen Z have grown up in an era of relative peace. Well, yeah, over here. However, for most of this year, inflation has remained around 8%, a 40-year high, pushing up prices across the board as the Federal Reserve raises borrowing rates to control rising prices. Yeah, finally. Too little, too late. Think Alan Greenspan, a spike in housing and rental price. Well, think central bank digital currency by design. A spike in housing and rental prices across the country since the pandemic have also made it hard for young adults to find an affordable home. All right, buddy. I'm broadcasting live, buddy. Okay. They just got home, y'all. Gen Z is facing an initial disadvantage entering the workforce. Much like the millennials over a decade ago, many of these young Americans are very concerned about their long-term financial prospects, according to the survey. Between COVID, inflation, and looming recession, Gen Z has kicked off adulthood in the most uncertain of times. How do we say her first name? Janae Walden, Chief Innovative and Marketing Officer of the Daily Pay, told Fox Business. So it's no surprise that many current economic conditions are keeping them living at home and or worrying about paying bills on time. Only 28 of those surveyed between ages of 18 and 25 said that they were regularly able to pay off their bills on time. About 41% said that they were concerned that rising inflation would make it more difficult for them to pay their bills over the next year, and 38% expected that necessities like food and fuel would become more expensive to buy. The study also found that rising costs have greatly affected the ability of many of these young people to save. I mean, we've been a net negative saving as a country for an incredibly long time. This is all also a byproduct of hyper-consumerism and hyper-waste and hyper-spending and credit cards. This is not exclusive to this administration. And most of
these kids don't even like to work either, so they're gonna work some like Joe Schmo Walmart job too. And of course it's gonna hurt you because you're only making, your salary's the same and you're making minimum wage, but inflation's going up, so it's not like, oh, I'll just work harder and make more money. It's like, but
they got that nifty college education.
Oh, dear me.
An alarming significant number, 78%, out of those surveys admit that they have saved less compared to last year or have the same amount of savings as they did last year, while some have not been able to save at all. Young adults remain optimistic about the future. However, many of the Gen Z are less pessimistic about their long-term economic future, with only 33% worrying about finding a house due to high prices, while only 20% of them are finding it difficult to pay for health care for family members because they're living with their parents, y'all. This report demonstrates the need for employers to provide meaningful and impactful financial benefits to help their employees, particularly Gen Z, despite the negative effects of inflation, said Kevin Coop, CEO of Daily Pay. Oh, so it's the employers. See, this is part of the poison pill of employment, right? It's always retirement. I do some consulting and people ask me some things, and I always say that health insurance is weaponized and retirement packages are weaponized because they put such a financial burden on an employer. It makes your payroll burden more than double if your employee is getting paid by the hour. So you can take whatever their hourly rate is and at a minimum double it if you want to get into this game of retirement packages, 401ks, matching, and health insurance. So I would say that it is not the employer's responsibility to provide meaningful and impactful financial benefits, because what you can do if you don't provide those welfare, everybody needs to have a welfare mentality, and I need my employer to provide retirement, and I need my employer to provide health care, affordable health care, right? And it creates this it just continues to puke out this welfare mentality. But guess what? If your employer didn't have a payroll so if they pay you $25 an hour, that employer's payroll burden is a minimum $50 an hour. Well, if they didn't have to have that burden, they could pay you $35 an hour. And now you have $10 more an hour to do with as you please to invest in your retirement program, not some forced, cheesy, 5 mutual fund option garbage junk in the stock market or whatever. Yeah. So it's all part of the prepackaged cookie cutter welfare mentality. Nearly 72% of Gen Z in the workforce said that having their salaries delivered directly to their accounts at the end of the day, instead of waiting for their regular payday, would aid them in paying bills on time. So this is a new trend that we're seeing where this instantaneous social media TikTok generation now needs to be paid daily, largely in part
in the
because
world?
most of them won't even make it till the end of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, now if I could get paid daily, that would really help me pay my bills on time because I'm a financial idiot and I can't budget and I can't plan and I can't save. How, if they paid you daily versus paying you at the end of the week or every 2 weeks, how in the world, if you're a financial self-destructing idiot, how is that going to help you pay your bills on time
I have no idea.
if you can't plan for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And that's why we need all this forced, it's just there. It's a systematic destruction of capitalism. The survey recommended that employers could better assist their workforce by applying these changes to help their younger workers take care of their monthly expenses. Okay, so here's the suggestion, y'all. Here's the suggestion. It's not bad enough that the employees are living with their parents and smooching off of their parents. Now it's the employer's responsibility to be the new parents to this childhood generation. That's what we were talking about, like parents raising children versus parents raising adults, right? And that's why we do what we do here on the Homestead and try to provide a legacy for our children, right? And not fall into all this paradigm and scamming and employers need to do this and employers need to do that. This way, these kids can pay their bills. And it's just, it's crazy. It's stupid. It's foolish. It's newspeak. It's everything has to change so that we can coddle these poor little Gen Z snowflakes. And if they would just get paid by the microsecond in micro Fed coin, they would be able to rent their TikTok and all that stuff. I mean, it's really, it's sad, and coddling and placating to it is going to make it better. No way. It's called grow up, get your big boy pants on, and do something and plan ahead and all that stuff. So that's the article we wanted to cover for today.
Yeah.
We are going to be covering something quite more substantial over on Rumble. So if you hadn't already, Carlos is in Walmart trying to find a pair of pants. We're sorry, Carlos. But yeah, if you haven't already, go over to Rumble and make an account. We're going to be jumping over there.
Yeah.
We have it set for 6. We'll probably end this and go live sooner than that.
Yeah.
If it'll let us jump on there live immediately. We're still getting used to Rumble and the streaming, but we appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to our backup channel. We're almost to 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
So in case we get vaporized, you'll see us over there. And
Yeah.
you'll go, hey, where did you go? Well, we kept telling you we were going to get vaporized. and then shocker, they did it. So,
Yep.
I mean,
What's new?
Such is, welcome to 1984, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. And head on over to Rumble.
Yeah. See y'all over there.
See y'all.